Hey everyone, blessings, blessings, and more blessings. Thank you for joining me in another video. In this one, we're going to discuss the 3 types of quote unquote good evil people that you should avoid. Before we get into our topic of discussion, subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. Also hit that like button because it helps my algorithm, and feel free to share this video or any other video on my channel if it's helpful to you. And also feel free to drop me a comment. I do read them, and I hope that this video is helpful to you. Yeah, so let's jump right into the topic of those good quote unquote evil people. The 3 types. What I've noticed lately, particularly in my culture, my society, I'm in the U.S. I know there's some of you out there who watch my channel who don't live here. So shout out to the UK and South Africa. I do look at my analytics, and I noticed that a number of you out there watch my channel. So shout out to y'all. But I notice here in the U.S. that increasingly, people are becoming more self-absorbed, more self-centered, and when we come across people who appear to be kind, appear to be good, I think because of social media and technology, and how people are becoming more insular, and when we meet someone who seems really into us, whether it be platonic or romantic relationship, I think people more and more are becoming vulnerable to people who might not have the good intentions, and people who might give attention to us, and may have kind of like some evil intent behind it. So I think because of how society is becoming more self-absorbed, this is just my observation, that means that more people could be vulnerable to certain types of people, or evil people, or wicked people, right? So this is kind of like why I make these videos often. It's basically to get you all, arm you with some defense against folks who might not, mean you well in life. So that's what this is all about. So I'm going to do another video like this. I might take a break after a while, but yeah, let's talk about these 3 types of good evil people. The first type is the collector. Now, I've spoken about this type before in some other videos, but this is how the collector will present to you. They will come across as super duper nice people who seem like just sweethearts, right? These people they may seem like overly attentive to you, really into you, really want to learn and know more about you, really listen in conversations. They may ask you all kinds of questions, and after you leave, you may feel, wow, that like this person really gets me. This person, we're vibing, and this person really likes me, or this person is really interested in me. And usually this type, the collector, they target people who may be a little introverted, or people who may be a little, from what they can see and gather, maybe a little neglected, people who may seem vulnerable. So that's the people that they usually target. So they come across as so kind and so nice, but these people, they have an evil plan. They're really evil, right? So the collector is, I spoke about in other videos, people getting in our business and getting information from us to weaponize it against us. So that's basically what they're doing, right? They're getting you to talk. They're getting you to open up so they can use that information to manipulate you. And that's what it's all about, right? So they have some sort of plan, and they're trying to get into your life for a bad reason, right? So the collector's, truly a horrible person, right? So, they may come across, they will use the mask of goodness or being a good or nice person to get you to open up, get you to be vulnerable, so they can use what you share with them to manipulate and use you, right? To get over on you, to take something away from you. So that's the collector. They collect and they harvest information from you with the intent of harming you. So you have to watch out for this person. Now, that does not mean that you should shut down or throw a wall up whenever you come across someone who's nice and kind to you. Like I've told you in other videos, if you watch this channel, just give it time. Give it some time. Give people time. When you feel like you're in a relationship, especially a romantic one, and you're being rushed along the way, or you're being rushed into a commitment, they're love bombing you, they're doing nice things for you, they're acting kind, but you're feeling rushed into intimacy, rushed into opening up. People, they might be asking too personal of questions. That could be a red flag, right? So what I say when it comes to meeting nice people, and you may meet and you will meet some legit nice people out there. There are kind people in the world, right? I don't want you to think I'm this pessimistic person coming on YouTube, trying to warn you about everybody, right? Because I've been burned, right? I mean, we've all been burned, but I just want you to basically, gain some defenses and, take a step back and, just give people some time, and time will tell on them, and, just watch their patterns and their movements. So that's the collector. Number 2, the second type of a good evil person is, oh man, I really don't like people like this. People like this really get under my skin, right? I've had some experiences with these types of people, and they are truly evil. This person is the martyr, right? This person will use their trauma, whether it's real trauma or trauma that they made up, right? They will use their trauma, their hardship, the things that they went through. They will fake a disease. They will fake a disability. They will do all kinds of stuff, a disorder, some childhood trauma that they went through. They will fake all of this stuff, or it could be real, but they will use it in order to gain sympathy from you and to pull at your heartstrings so you can open up, let them in. They're really parasitical people, and they're oftentimes very codependent, right? So they come in, they will latch themselves onto you with the intention of using you, taking something from you, or just draining the life force out of you, right? So the martyr is a really terrible person. They always have some sob story that they are the perpetual victims, right? So, there are 2 types of martyrs, right? So there's the martyr who has actually been through the horrific experience that may actually have that disease that they're talking about, or disability, right? They may have actually had those hard times and lost all of their money, whatever the sob story is. They may have actually gone through that. However, they are using their ordeals and the things that they went through to use people and to try to get over on people, right? So here's the thing. There are many of you out there, the people, who have gone through some horrific experiences, some serious trauma, some really hard times in life. And, for some people, unfortunately, they're not able to get over it. It's just too much, or they don't have the help or the resources able to get over it. And, what happens is, it just, whatever they've been through erodes their soul, but they don't necessarily become evil, right? But then there's those people who will use that to use and abuse other people, right? So instead of healing, instead of doing the right thing, instead of overcoming what they've gone through, they'll use it and they'll weaponize their experiences against other people to gain sympathy, to get into other people's lives, and to do awful things, right? So they're damaged, and they're choosing. See, here's the thing. When you go through hardships in life, and even if it's something so bad, and some of you out there who you've been there, and I've been there too, where I've like, God, why is this happening to me, right? Why did you allow that thing? You claim to love me, but you allowed that thing to happen to me. And you question God. And I think we're allowed to do that. You've gone through that thing, you question God. But here's what God would do. Even through that hardship and that terrible thing that you went through, God gives all of us options. Yes, we have the choice and the option to heal. We have the choice and the option to overcome. And some people don't go that route. And some people, they allow it to erode their souls once again, and they invite that darkness in. They allow it to darken them on the inside, and they go over to the evil side, and they use that to harm other people, right? And then there's the martyr that lies. They make everything up, right? They're perpetual liars. They're con artists, right? These are people who will use a faked tragedy. They will make up diseases that they don't have, experiences, tell you that they did this, that they lost everything, that they don't have any money, and they will make it up in order to gain sympathy. And so when we feel sorry for people, and when we have empathy and sympathy for them, we let our defenses down, and that's what they want. They want you to let that wall down, that defense down, and also it gives them an excuse for really bad behavior, right? So when if you allow the martyr into your life, and they've lodged themselves like a parasite into your life. And these people are hard to get out of your life, by the way. They're really hard to shake. So once the martyr is there, they will also use that bad experience, that tragedy, that thing that they claim that they went through, whether true or false. They will use that to excuse their bad behavior and their abuse and mistreatment of you, right? So when they do certain things, you may be slower to condemn them or to kick them out of your life, because you may think, oh man, this person had a terrible childhood, or this person has a terminal illness. I just can't, kick them out of my life, or kick them out of my house, or stop talking to them. Right? They could self-harm, or they could do whatever. Right? So so they will also use what they've been through, whether true or false, to also as an excuse for really bad behavior. So these are really dangerous people. And once again, like I told you about the collector, the martyr, once you here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. The martyr, what I found, martyrs that I have met in the past, straight away, they're going to go into that sob story. So if you meet a person and right away they're talking about their drama and their trauma and the things that they went through, and it's not something that came up, like you're not talking about a particular thing or a hard thing, or something that would cause them to talk about something that they went through, you could be dealing with a potential martyr, right? So if they bring up something terrible right away, red flag, right? So that's one thing I noticed about the martyrs, like straight up, they're going to come out with their sob story. But that doesn't mean that you should, basically disregard people who've gone through, tough times. It doesn't mean that they're not on the journey or the path of healing, or that you shouldn't be friends with them. But, just definitely be careful. So just know that martyrs usually, they come at you fast with that sob story and with victimhood. So definitely watch out for that. So that's the martyr. The last type that I want to talk about is the demonic benefactor, right? This person is usually found within organizations, right? So this person may come across as, probably a person of means, who have money, who have resources, and they seem very generous, right? They're always giving. They're giving money, they're giving resources to people or to organizations, to churches or what have you. And they do that to make themselves look good. And they do that to, once again, disarm people, so people will let their walls down, because people like getting gifts, right, and stuff, right, and money, right, so and resources, right. So if you have a person who seems to be very generous, that demonic benefactor, they're giving. I call it, they have calculated giving, right. Their generosity is calculated, right. Is measured, and is it's something. There's an evil and nefarious plan behind it, right. Their generosity has strings attached, right. So they might be giving at some point, and they might be giving a lot, right. But at the end of the day, when they're done with you, you are going to be the one, or your organization is going to be the one that pays a hefty price, right? So these are the con artists, and these are the people who they try to weasel their way into your life or into an organization. It could be a charity or a church or whatever. So they try to get into position or a position of prominence there, or look good in the eyes of the people, so they can be in charge and to lead something, right? So that they're usually putting that con ahead of themselves, so they can possibly get their hands on more money, right, or more influence, so they can manipulate people, or steal, or in some way, right? So that's organizations. And on a personal note, if it's like a romantic relationship, this person the demonic benefactor, they may come across as so generous and so giving. They usually love bomb. A love bomb is attached to that as well, right? So they're taking you on trips, they're giving you expensive gifts, and they seem like they have money. Sometimes they do. Oftentimes they don't, actually. I take that back. Oftentimes they don't. So a lot of them, they fake rich, right? Or they fake like they have something. They might drive a nice car and present very well. They might dress in fancy clothes and, go to fancy places and have fancy friends, right? But, these people, they're faking. They're faking to get into certain groups and certain circles. And they come across as very generous in order to take over something. And, they're parasitical too, in order to come into your life and basically ruin it, right? What you got to understand about the good, evil people, they're not going to make that announcement, hey, I'm coming into your life to ruin your life, right? They're wearing the mask, and I call them quote unquote good. They're wearing the mask of kindness. They're wearing the mask of, being good people in order to manipulate, deceive, and do damage in the lives of good people such as yourself, right? So those are the three types that I wanted to talk about in this video: the collector, the martyr, and the demonic benefactor. I hope and I pray that you never come across these people, but you might. And if you do, you have this video to help you along the way. Take care, God bless, and I will see you in the next one.